What's up, my friends? Welcome to New View Tech Review. My name is David Gelly, and today we are reviewing the Galaxy S10 Plus. So let's get to it. "10 years after the first Galaxy phone, Samsung is back with the Galaxy S10. This is just one of 3 models released for their 2019 lineup. Over the years, hardware and software has come and gone. Some were gimmicks and some stuck around. But here we are with Samsung's newest addition to the Galaxy family. This year, there are several new interesting features as well as a pretty cool design change. So without further ado, let's dive right in and talk about what you can expect to find on the much anticipated Galaxy S10 Plus. The S10 Plus stands 6.2 inches tall, is 2.9 inches wide, 7.8 millimeters thick, and weighs 6 ounces for the glass model and 7 for the ceramic. On the right side of the phone sits the power button, and on the left, the volume rocker and Bixby button. And this year we can finally say that the Bixby button is remappable. Just go into Settings, Advanced Features, Bixby key, and select Double Press to open Bixby. At that point, you can remap the button to open any app of your choice with just a single press. This kind of customization is exactly what we've been waiting for, Samsung, so thank you for listening to your fans. On the bottom of the phone, we find the Type-C charging port, and on the back, the highly unnecessary heart rate sensor that I've only used once, on the Galaxy S5, and that was just to test it out. Next, Samsung finally ditched the rear-facing fingerprint scanner for their new ultrasonic sensor that sits just below the display near the bottom of the phone. It uses small sonic waves that bounce off of your fingerprint to produce a true biometric authentication. But unfortunately, it's been pretty hit or miss, and even when it does work, it's pretty slow to unlock. This is obviously new technology, and over time will get better, but I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a bit disappointed during my testing. And as usual, the S10 Plus retains its IP68 water and dust resistance, which means it can handle full submersion in depths of up to 5 feet of water for about 30 minutes. You can find the S10 in Prism White, Prism Black, Prism Blue, Flamingo Pink, Ceramic White, and Ceramic Black. The S10 Plus sports a 6.4-inch Quad HD Plus Dynamic AMOLED Infinity O display and has a PPI of 522. The most noticeable addition to this year's display is the camera cutout on the top right. Thankfully, Samsung never gave in to the notch phase, and 2019 is no different. The camera cutout is subtle enough in my opinion to hold me back from having any complaints. Plus, it just looks kinda cool with the AMOLED panel curving around the sensor. On top of that, there are plenty of fun wallpapers that you can use to accentuate and complement the cutout. As for the actual display, well, it's a Samsung AMOLED panel. You can't get much better than this. Its colors are great, sharpness is on point, and the curved infinity edges just pull you further into the content. Also, be sure to go into Settings and change the resolution to QHD, as this doesn't come active by default. This will affect overall battery life, but not enough in my opinion to skimp out on the phone's full potential. Something else to keep in mind, Samsung has the screen mode set to natural out of the box, so if the colors don't look as saturated as you're used to seeing with a Galaxy device, don't panic. Just go into the settings and change this to vivid. Problem solved. The S10 Plus comes with Qualcomm's 855 CPU, 8 to 12 gigabytes of RAM, and runs Android Pie 9.0 out of the box. Performance is buttery smooth without any lag, which is pretty much what we should expect from any flagship in 2019. Powering the device is a 4,100 mAh battery, up from 3,500 on last year's model. So even with QHD enabled, you shouldn't have any problem whatsoever making it through a full day of moderate use. As for haptic feedback, it seems to be pretty sloppy and sluggish, as is usual from Samsung, and I hope at some point they will address this and give us a taptic engine similar to what Apple uses. It just makes a device feel a little bit more high-end to have that sharp and precise haptic response. Wireless charging is now 27% faster than on the S9 Plus, and with the new addition of wireless power share, you can use reverse wireless charging to help out a friend in need of a little extra juice. Internal storage starts at 128 gigabytes for the base model and goes all the way up to 1 terabyte with the possibility of increasing that to 1.5 terabytes using the expandable storage option. Personally, I would recommend saving your money and just getting the 128 gigabyte base model with 8 gigabytes of RAM. that's way more than enough for the average consumer, unless you plan to use your phone as an external hard drive and shoot all of your photos and videos in the highest resolution possible, which is pretty unnecessary if you ask me, and I wouldn't recommend doing it. Spanning almost the entirety of the back is a triple camera setup. The first being a 12 megapixel telephoto lens with an aperture of f2.4 and OIS. To the right of that, we have a 12 megapixel wide-angle dual aperture lens of f1.5 and f2.4 with OIS. And the final lens being a 16 megapixel ultra-wide angle sensor with an aperture of f2.2. Now flipping over to the front, we find two sensors. On the left, we get a 10 megapixel lens with an aperture of f1.9, and on the right, we find a depth sensor for that much appreciated bokeh effect. Between all four cameras, video can be recorded in 720p at 960 frames per second, up to 4K at 60 frames per second. Here are a few quick photo and video samples that I shot with the S10 Plus. Shooting in low-light environments was extremely fun, and that ultra-wide-angle lens was incredibly impressive. It's really something that you have to test out for yourself to get a good idea of how much this thing can actually capture in a single shot. The S10 Plus once again comes with its AKG optimized stereo speakers. They definitely get pretty loud, coming in at around 90 decibels, but overall sound a bit too muffled. They're definitely not bad by any means, but compared to my iPhone X, they just simply don't sound as clear. Here's a quick audio sample side by side with my iPhone X. And on the bottom, we find a headphone jack, which, to be honest, I did not see Samsung keeping for this year's 10th anniversary model. But here we are with that 3.5mm plug to go along with those fantastic AKG headphones that come in the box. Now, with all that being said, is the $1,000 flagship from Samsung worth the upgrade? And in my honest opinion, I'd say yes. The new full-screen display, an ultra-wide-angle lens, and the ultrasonic fingerprint scanner are enough to make the switch in my opinion. And if those new features don't sound very appealing to you, then just save your money and wait to see what the Note 10 will look like. You wouldn't be missing out on anything life-changing, just a few much appreciated tweaks to the already amazing Galaxy lineup. Alright my friends, that's all I had for you today. I hope you enjoyed this review of the Galaxy S10 Plus. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.